Recently, I got to see WATERPARKS live. They're doing their entertainment tour right now. I went to the Richmond date, which was on November 7th, and I just thought I'd share with you guys my experience and give a little concert review, I guess. When I arrived at the venue, I felt old. I knew that WATERPARKS fan base is mostly young people. I just didn't expect to be surrounded. I would say that most of the adults that were 21 and older were parents chaperoning their kids. From where I was standing, I only saw two people that looked like they were my age, and they had those wristbands that tell like the bartenders that you're at least 21 years old. So what I'm trying to say is that I felt out of place. There were 4 opening acts that night: Dwayne Jackson, Nick Gray, Super whatever, and I don't know how, but they found me. I've been a fan of WATERPARKS for at least a couple of years now, so I was pretty excited about this show. But I think the main driving force for me to buy the tickets to this show was I don't know how, but they found me. The first opening act was Dwayne Jackson. I had no idea who this guy was. I only saw his name pop up from time to time on WATERPARKS Instagram page, like he would comment on it or something. I thought he was a really good first act. He really knew how to interact with the crowd. I'm actually not that into rap and hip hop, but his style I could kind of get into because it's not your usual rapping. It wasn't boring. For example, he wasn't alone on stage. He had his friend playing electric guitar, and that was pretty cool. The second act was Nick Gray. Oh boy. So this guy was a rapper as well. However, I didn't like him. It just feels really mean saying this, but this is how I honestly felt about his set. It was boring and monotonous. I couldn't get into his music. In one point in his set, he tried to make a meme joke that didn't land at all. It went something like, I just called Chief earlier and he said, this is it. And then there were like 5 people that laughed. And when he realized that no one laughed at his joke, he was like, yeah, you have to understand memes to get that one. And then he wanted us to be on his Instagram story. Okay guys, I'm gonna say something to my phone, and then when it points to you guys, you're gonna be like, we love Nick Gray. I just wanted it to end. Man, I didn't hate the guy. It was just, it felt out of place, and man, I don't know. I'm sure there's people out there that like his music. It's just not for me. The third opening act was Super Whatever. Unlike the last 2 acts, this was a band. They were pretty much right up my alley. Alternative music. I really like their sound. Their last song that they played was called Misquote, and that really stuck with me because it was really good and high energy and just really good song overall. Apparently it was their most recent single that they released. So I looked it up this morning and listened to the studio version. I feel like it doesn't do the band justice. It sounded way better live. After their set, I immediately added them on Spotify so I could listen to them later. Last but not least for the opening acts was I don't know how, but they found me. This, by far, was my favorite opening act, and I'm totally biased in saying that. I mean, Dallin Weekes, he's my favorite musician, and the Brobecks, they're one of my favorite bands. When he walked on stage, I almost cried, and that's never happened to me before. I just got really teary-eyed. I could feel my vision blurring a little because of my tears. And I've seen Dallin perform live with Panic at the Disco 2 times, but I never got that same feeling until now because it's his actual own band. He had such a good stage presence. He really knows how to interact with the crowd. I really like the character that he puts on when he's on stage, and I'm assuming it's a character because that's definitely not how he talks in real life. Crowd interaction was really engaging. He really knows how to get people to sing along. There was one part when they did Visitation of the Ghost. He split the crowd and told us to like move to the side. So we created an aisle for him to walk down, and basically he walked right in front of me and he stood right in front of me. So that was pretty neat. I wish I could say more about Ryan. I mean, he's a great drummer. He's fantastic. It's just that I'm too short. I was too short to see where he was. So I would occasionally just tiptoe for like a second and then see like he was enjoying himself. Their set was very special to me because before I Don't Know How was created, I didn't think I would ever hear any Brobeck songs performed live at all. I thought Dallin would just be done with that project since he's never released any recent music from it. So I'm very thankful that Dallin started a new band that doesn't have much music yet. And finally, the main act, WATERPARKS. So I was pretty tired already from I don't know how set. There's really not much to say about it other than it was such a good time. Everyone was singing along. This is great. It's the Entertainment tour, right? So that means they're going to sing all of the songs from Entertainment. For some reason, though, I don't remember them singing Cry Baby. Maybe they did. I don't know how I missed that because they definitely played all of the songs. My one issue that I have is that when everyone's singing, you can barely hear Austin singing. When I go to a concert, I kind of want to hear the band. It was like towards the beginning of their set, Austin was like, "Do you mind if we play an old song?" And I was thinking like, oh cool, they might play Silver or something from before Cluster. This song is called Gloom Boys.